On today's video, I'm actually excited to talk about this plugin from Kiive Audio. This is Channelstrip. This plugin came out a few days ago and I thought to myself, take a bit of time to actually, go through it, test it on a couple of audio sources before you make a video about it. So, to actually see how good this plugin is, because with the concept, having the 3 legendary plugins in one, I feel like this needs, a better explanation. So having gone through it, I actually like what this does. Let me just show you guys what I've actually done to this track. I've obviously mixed this vocal, but I've actually bypassed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plugins, and I used just this one plugin to replace that 5. Let's have a listen to it with and without. I've soloed it. Have a listen to it on and I'll bypass it halfway so you can see how much improvement this added. Then I'll obviously talk you guys through the features. Let's go.
And if you ain't fight the heat, don't be talking degrees when I'm stressed. I've been trying to do my best, can't be blessed when there's daggers in my back and in my chest, and it's feeling like I'm beefing with my own head. Need to see a psychic like Laboutons to get my soul red. It's been a minute since I bought a ball. Had to suffer up in silence, I went audible. I used to get the bag and then I snort it all.
So as you can see how much this cuts through, because I like my vocals to be very bright, and upfront. So one thing I actually like about this plugin is the fact that you have option to choose what kind of legendary sound you want to achieve. So on this particular one, as you can see on the harmonics, we've actually gone with Kiive, which is, emulation of a Kiive, preamp, saturation. So you can change it from here. You can see N for Kiive, A for API, and S for the SSL solid state logic. So we're going with the Kiive. Then coming this side, which is the EQ part, I'm actually going with an SSL. As you can see, it's on S. And the good thing with this SSL is that it actually sounds so good. Look, I'm cracking 8.5, but at the start, I actually had this at nearly 10 dB boost, and it still sounds very musical. Then on this side, which is the dynamic, I'm actually using an API. So you can change it to Kiive if you want, SSL if you want, but I chose API. So on this API, as you can see, you've obviously got the feed forward, which is the FF, or the feedback, which is FB. I'm obviously sticking to the FF, which is the feed forward. Then this is the knee. So you have a lot of things on this. If you come down here as well, there's a shaper there. So you have attack, sustain, and the output, which is more for transient shaper, I believe. You obviously got a gate here as well. You can engage it or turn it off. So here you can obviously choose dynamic post or dynamic pre, which means either the dynamic comes before the EQ or it comes after the EQ. So let's just go through features quickly. I've obviously touched it up a bit, but this, you can change the saturation to whatever you want, the harmonics as well. You have odd and even harmonics, so you can actually choose which one you want to emphasize more. Then on the saturation, you can change, to a Kiive, which we're currently using. You can change to an API, which is that, or you can change to an SSL, which is that. So it's up to you. It's endless, basically, what you want to choose. There's obviously a sidechain filter there. Then going further, let's just stick back to the Kiive, because I prefer the Kiive, saturation, especially for vocals anyway. But obviously for something like drum or percussions, I'll go for an API preamp. So coming to the EQ section, an SSL obviously is loved by many for, mixing, especially, when it comes to vocals, drums, and, bass. But sometimes we obviously want the punch on your drum, API is the choice, but this being vocal, I actually went with SSL, but you can just click this. One click, you've changed already to an EQ, Kiive. So if you want the Kiive sound, obviously you have it. There you go. Then going back to the dynamics, we've obviously changed it from API to a Kiive to an SSL. This is endless. So as you can see, I was able to actually use a Kiive preamp, an SSL EQ, and an API dynamic on this vocal. Instead of pulling different plugins. one plugin gave me all this, which is awesome. Then if you come down here, which is the master section, there's actually a stereo width. You obviously got your high pass filter as well, so you can flip phase if you want. There's input there, but I'm sticking to the output anyway, just to see the output metering. So just with this walkthrough, you can see there's a lot you can do with this. There's a mix knob here, you know, for the dynamic. So there's just so many things. I really like this. I've tried it on a couple of other stuffs and I just like how good it sounds. So let's go ahead and actually, you know, exaggerate certain buttons and see how good and how musical this is. Because another feature I like about the EQ also is this listen button. So you can actually solo a particular frequency and sweep, which is what I did here. So let's try it.
Horses in my mouth waters, while my kids riding horses in some Ralph Lauren. Had to get my mind, body, and my health sorted. Done with all that white snorting, now I got my life sorted. Cause I had too many nights, used to be a clown with money, but now I'm Pennywise, lot. And if you'd only recognize all the fakers in the lies, makes you realize them guys short.
So as you can see how easy you can find treble frequencies by just soloing this and just let go, and then you go back to the full sound. The same with obviously here, you can just have a listen and then play around with, you know, finding treble frequencies especially. So if we switch to an API, you can see that's also there. If we switch to the Kiive, you still have that there. So, and as you can see, I'm not quite sure if you've picked something up since I'm switching from, you know, one to the other. Like now that we've obviously cranked this 4 dB there, when I switch to my SSL, you can see my settings are still intact, so it didn't quite change. Now, if we go back to the Kiive, you can see what I cranked them was there. So this is a cool feature in the sense that you can actually, you know, set your Kiive up, set the SSL up, and also set the API up, and now jump through each and every one to see which one sounds better for you. Unlike some, whereby if you switch from one to the other, you lose the settings. But this one actually retains that settings for you, which means you can just go from this to this, crank your boost, do your changes, then go there. Our changes there is still intact. So now you can just, while playing your audio, jump through each and every one to see which one sounds better. Let's just try that.
You're either with me or you ain't, so mind your business then. Man, I just flick my pen. I look at Porsches in my mouth waters, while my kids riding horses in some Ralph Lauren. Had to get my mind, body, and my health sorted. You're either with me or you ain't, so mind your business then. Man, I just flick my pen. I look at Porsches in my mouth waters, while my kids riding horses in some Ralph Lauren. Had to get my mind, body, and my health sorted. Done with all that white snorting, now I got my life sorted. Cause I had too many nights, used to be a clown with money, but now I'm Pennywise, lot. And if you'd only recognize all the fakers in the lies, makes you realize them guys short. Born to nothing and a die crook. But it went all for nothing, I could write a book, back to the wall. Now my...
So as you can see how easy it is to jump from one to the other while still retaining your settings and the sound that you've crafted. So the same obviously with these preamps. So you can see what we currently have. Let's just change to an API, crank that up, bring the trim down. If we now change to the Kiive, we still have our settings. Go back to the API, we'll have our settings. So this to me is actually very critical because it helps you, you know, on the fly, basically find your sound without having to, compromise. So the same thing with the dynamic, obviously. This plugin, I think, is worth a lot more to what they are currently selling it because it's on sale at the minute if you go check their website out. But for me, with this, you actually get more for your money. It's almost like having an SSL, an API, and a Kiive. You're basically buying these 3 legendary sound in one. So you can just, even if you want to just throw this up and use all SSL, right? And then instantiate another one and use all Kiive. and then get another one up somewhere and use all SSL or all API. So it's up to you, but obviously I quite like the fact that you can blend them as well, so you don't have to stick to one sound. Then coming up here, you obviously have your oversampling times 16 up to times 16. Then you have output boost, input boost if you want to add or remove sound. Then you've obviously got your presets here where you can load presets. There's no user preset. There's a bit of factory preset here. Then coming around here, you can actually change the size. So this is currently on 100. So if you want to make it big, so that's obviously endless. You can choose depending on your screen size, but for me, obviously going higher than 100 is actually not the perfect scaling for my screen. So 100 is just perfect. So I hope this is helpful. Obviously, go ahead and check this out and let me know what you think about it. Even though I've just tested it on a vocal on this, but you can try this on anywhere, including on your master bus or vocal buses, you know, drum bus. You can use this anywhere because you have a lot, you know, of modules, in the sense that you have your harmonics, you have saturation, you have an EQ, you have a dynamic section, a gate, a transient shaper, so you can actually have this on your, you know, snares and stuff to add a bit more crunch or punch to it. Then if you want obviously to widen your piano and stuff, you have the stereo width there. So this is endless. And obviously on your drums, if you think that two drums are sort of clashing, you can just flip the phase to not have them cancel out. If you have already tried this out, let me know in the comment section what you think about it. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, hit that super thanks or super sticker, and also hit the notification bell. Be sure to also share this and leave a thumbs up so that YouTube will send this to more people. If you want me to mix your song, DM me on Instagram at Zany Pro, or just, you know, book me directly on engineers.com/Zany Pro. Until then, thanks for watching. Bye now.